You're listening to The People's Pitch, the official podcast of Minneapolis City Soccer Club, brought to you by FootballStadiumPrints.com. Let's start the show.
And as I talked about just a couple minutes ago, as Joe Watt stands over this one, he appears to be the one taking the penalty here. This is a huge confidence booster if you're Duluth.
Worst case scenario for City right here.
And it stopped! Yes! And it stopped!
Totally redeems himself.
Matt Elder redeeming himself. Oliver with the right foot. The shot of the goal!
Oliver!
Justin Oliver will break the scoreless tie. And it is 1-0 Minneapolis City. Is Hutton now on the offense with the left foot. And it is now 2-0 Minneapolis City.
Good finish.
Nick Hutton taking his quick victory lap.
Good Friday, Minneapolis City fans. This is the People's Pitch Podcast, the official podcast of your Minneapolis City SC. As always, I am your host, Nate, joined by my right-hand man, John Bisworm, co-host and Minneapolis City sporting director. John, dude, it's happening. Spring, the grass is green, man. If you looked out your window, I don't know about yours, but mine is getting green, and I am ready for some soccer. It just feels like every week on this show, there's just more and more hints of the soccer season to come, from whether it's talking to new guys, whether it's introducing the team, whether it's just kind of hints at kind of things to look forward to. I'm loving this. I'm loving this time of year.
Well, first off, I'll say, Nate, it's not a good Friday. It's a great Friday.
It is.
So let's start there. I agree with you, man. Even though my lawn's looking a little sad because it's that time of year, I'm super excited. I mean, like you said, we specifically even on the show, we're at the point now where, we're starting to have players on. We're starting to talk about, getting ready for a few weeks from now. I got wind through social media that the citizens are gathering to start getting ready for the season. Stuff is happening on the field. We just came off of a 4-0 win against Shattuck's St. Mary's U19 DA team. So the preseason is here, and I am excited, but we have a great show for you folks this week. As we build off of the roster announcement that we had last week, we are joined later on by Minneapolis City NPSL Gustavus attacker Matt Gibbons will be on the show. But first, we have a bit of news with the recent announcement that we are dipping our toes into the youth summer camp waters. So, Nate, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, that's right. So in the spirit of providing that safe, reliable, and fun environment for young people to play the beautiful game that we talk about in every show's outro.
The area of the show where people don't listen to?
Yeah, this summer, Minneapolis City is going to host its first ever summer camp. And this is going to be for boys and girls of all ages, all playing levels, anywhere from age 5 to just about to enter high school. And we're looking at 3 camps. They're each a week long in 3 locations. So one week it's going to be in Minneapolis. The next week it's going to be in Blaine. The next week it's going to be in Eden Prairie. And these camps are either full day camps where you can go from 9 until 4, or you can go just for a half day from 9 to noon, or from 1 to 4, depending on what you've got going on, or what your kids have going on, I should say, for their summer. Each of these camps, John, they're run by city players, which is really cool. Jonah Garcia, who we've talked to on the show, and Mito Youssef, who we talked to him last fall, I believe, too, during the 7-side league. And each of these camps facilitated by city staff and city volunteers, so the kids are going to be in good hands with some good players at the helm. I'm going to call it Crow Camp.
Where you learn to be a crow.
Yep, Crow Camp, designed to be a great place for players to really enjoy that positive, fun training environment. I think the spirit of these camps, John, is inspired by Mito's time that he spent growing up in Egypt and learning to play and love soccer. We had him on the show last fall, like I said, and he told us that story, how he would just kind of get up, find his friends, and go play soccer all day with no structure, no pressure. That's what really hooked him and what made him fall in love with the game. And he wants to pass that on to other kids. And I think Jonah is of a like mind, and so they stepped up to organize and run this camp, which is great.
Well, for the parents out there, I will say that it will be structured and organized, just so you're not worried about dropping your kid off at 9 a.m. and then not having any structure
Just running
until
free.
you.
Yeah, just being able to get up and just go out and play, right? Without like,
Mm.
we're not gonna be running them on tons of drills and shit like that. It's gonna be just a fun time. We're gonna make sure to have Jonah and Mito on together to talk more about the camp in the future and their plans for it and what that's gonna what those days are gonna look like. But for now, it sounds like they're planning a really good program.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that I have in my notes to bring up here is that we've tried to do youth clinics in the past. We just weren't successful at them, and it was no fault of anyone's, but we tried to do like pregame clinics where we were asking in our first year, like Coach Kicker or Coach Jeremy to like go to a park where any kid could show up and play soccer. And the focused, unstructured atmosphere of that just wasn't working. So we kind of, as an organization, made the collective decision to just kind of pull the plug until we could figure out how to do it correctly. And then with Jonah and Midu coming to us and saying like, we're college coaches during the year, except for the summer. We have the background. We can totally pull this off. So our answer to them was write up a proposal. So they worked with technical director Adam Pribble to talk through how it would all work, put together a nice pitch, and we're going to move forward with it. So I'm super excited about that. But I think the other thing to note is that, you mentioned it, that the value that these kids are going to get out of it is not only is it just a place to go play soccer, but the guys that are running it are the type of player that you want to learn from.
Yeah.
Jonah is such a student and lover of the game. So is Midu. They both offer different sides of the ball that they can teach you on other city players that they're going to be bringing in. I'd have to believe it's guys like, other coaches that are not currently working with other club teams. Maybe you get a Samuel Ruiz Plaza out there, or we can coax people like Will Kidd or AO to come out, and whatever the roster of coaches is. You look at our player pool and our volunteer crew that we have, including our existing coaching staff that's interested in helping as well. You're going to actually be getting a very high level, instruction, whether it's under the assumption or guise of just having fun. You're still going to have fun, but you're going to get a lot out of it if you're a youth player. So I'm really excited that we're going to actually get this going, because it kind of brings us full circle to the soccer spectrum of having an outlet for the younger kids, because we really don't have that, because we're not a youth club. Even though we have the futures program, we're not a youth club. We don't pretend to be, but we can sure as heck go out and help some kids learn some things the right way and do it in a fun environment.
So interested families can register at mplscitysc.com/summer camp. The camps will take place June 14th to 18th. That's at Parade Park in Minneapolis over by the Sculpture Garden. June 21st to 25th at the National Sports Center up in Blaine, and July 12th to July 16th out at Eden Prairie High School. If you've got a kid and they've got friends, just grab everyone, throw them in the van, sign them up, man. It's going to be a blast. So again, that is mplscitysc.com/summer camp to get registered.
And you got hooked.
Can't get hooked twice.
Building off of our show last week, where we brought you all the hotness of the NPSL roster for 2021 that we hope to use to win the conference three-peat, we figured what better time than to bring on our first player guest of 2021 season. Please welcome current Gustavus attacker and City diehard Matt Gibbons. Matt, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining us.
Happy to be here. This is my first time hearing about the show, and I'm pretty psyched that I'm the first person that's going to be on it this year.
Yeah, you're the first true player. I mean, we had Hoof on because he retired, and then we had Adam on last week. So you have some big shoes to fill, but I think he'll be able to handle it.
Awesome.
So before we start, let's dive into a little bit of your accolades, since some folks may not know who you are. We'll get a little bit deeper dive here in a second into your personal soccer journey. But you're a graduate of Minnehaha Academy, where you were voted four-time all-conference member and first-team all-state. After high school, you moved on to Gustavus Adolphus College in 2017, where you kept the pedal down, man, and you finished second on the team in points in your first year with 13, on the back of 3 goals and 7 assists, just behind current City teammate Arthur Perrins. But it didn't stop there. During your sophomore season in 2018, it was more of the same thing, as you led the team in points with 25, with 7 goals, 11 assists, and you were voted second-team All-American on the same team, All-American team, with current City player Samuel Ruiz-Plaza. And you were also voted All-MIAC and All-Region. And then on the back of that, you truly didn't stop. In 2019, obviously before COVID killed soccer for a brief time period there, you were voted again All-MIAC, All-Region, as well as third-team All-American alongside your current Gusty teammate and City teammate Cole Schwartz. Third-team All-American, and a very impressive 33 points on 8 goals, 17 assists in only 18 games, which is very impressive. Did I miss anything, or are you just growing tired of beating up on Division III defenders? And what's next for your final year in college? I mean, you've done a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing you missed that I'll just pat myself on the back on is last year I broke the single season assist record for our school, and I'm currently, the next goal is to break the all-time assist record, and I believe the record is 45 and I'm at 41. So easily doable here with the spring season and the fall next year coming up. So
well, yeah, and I was looking that up, and the current holder of the career assists lead is a guy by the fantastic name of Larry Shellhammer. So it's
the Shellhammer.
The Shellhammer. It's a 46-year record. So you're breaking it under the half-century mark potentially, which is awesome.
Yeah, that'll be something special to hold on to.
Classic Shellhammer. Just dropping dimes in the 70s. Okay, so enough boasting about how good you are. So for the folks that truly don't know who you are, other than you're a former member of our City U23 team, tell us your soccer journey. Like, how did things start, and where did you get to where you are today?
I guess I'll start it with, it all started on my dad's side of the family growing up. I was one of the younger people on my dad's side, meaning I had cousins in high school when I was in first and second grade. And I was always on a ball at their games watching, and I knew all their coaches and they knew me. And I had coaches watching me growing up. And even from then on, I had an older brother who, he always told me, hey, make sure you're better than I am. And because we would go out and play, and he's 5 years older than me. And I remember my 7th grade year in the summer, me and one other kid who were playing for Minnesota Thunder Academy at the time, we got pulled up and we went to train when my brother was a senior, and all his buddies, we trained with the varsity team over the summer, and we fit right in, apart from the fact that we were 5'3" and they were 6 feet tall. So, yeah. And then moving on from there, I left MTA at U15, switched over to Minneapolis United, which is where I originally had started. And then it kind of just took off from there. I mean, we ended up kind of beating the MTA team that I was on all the time when we played them. We won 3 state cups, went to a national tournament, or won regionals one year. And then I was really lazy, quite honestly, in the college process. I didn't really start until my junior year, looking at schools and stuff. And I did 1 overnight at Luther, and then I toured Gustavus, and I think I committed on April 30th, the last day before you have to put a deposit down at a school. Yeah. And I mean, at times, yeah, I wish I would have, started looking a whole year earlier, but I'm really happy where I ended up at Gustavus. because I met Artie.
So were there
and Artie initially led me to City, which is pretty cool.
Were there any offers higher than Division III that you had coming out of high level club and then performing well in high school?
Yeah, I had spots on teams at Marquette and Milwaukee, and then the summer before I went to college, Northern Illinois called me in June, and they were like, "Hey, we have some money left over, and we're looking to bring in another forward. Would you be interested?" And that was about a day-long process of, "Oh, let's go to Illinois for a day and see what the school is like." I think we're fine. So, a couple places here and there. Drake was another option that I would have made the team, but it would have been like a tryout, So, But yeah, mostly Midwest area. I wasn't looking to go very far. So,
how did you end up with Minneapolis City? You said Artie Perrins introduced you to City. Had you heard of the club at all over the previous couple of years, or was this kind of just Arthur saying, "Come on by"?
Yeah, there was one summer. I don't know I think it was the summer going into the summer after my freshman year. I was playing in the MASL on a men's league team, and Arthur was like, "Hey," Arthur and actually Charlie Adams too was my assistant coach my freshman year. So he was like, "Hey, you should come try and play with City." And of course, I've got a lot of Gustavus guys who I'm now trying to bring who I think are going through the same struggling process of communication with the coaches. They want John's always texting you, and I'm like, I've never even met this guy before, and he's like, "Hey, come to this training session 9 to 11 p.m. and I'm like, is this really what I want to do on a night during the summer? And that first summer I kind of I think I maybe went to 1 or 2 training sessions. I mean, I'm sure John would back me up at that. I wasn't really there. And then
you were a little in and out.
Yeah, and then sophomore year rolls around, and Artie's like, "Yeah, dude, I'll even drive you up to the training sessions and stuff from school." And I was like, "Okay, fine. It's probably good for me to go get extra touches and stuff." And then last summer, the summer after my sophomore year, was when I played with the now MC2 team, and I built so many relationships with guys on all different teams from the MIAC, and literally became best friends with them. And now I don't know what I would be doing with all my time if I wasn't playing for City over the summer and stuff.
You mentioned that you were a member of that U23 team, now City 2, when it was in its infancy. Can you talk to us about that experience, maybe how it helped going back into your record-setting season with Gustavus?
Yeah. So I would say that sophomore year season, when I had that first All-American, I had no idea that I was going to get All-American. It wasn't even on my radar. I don't even think I was very aware that was an award that is given out, quite honestly. Oh yeah, you hear about it, but you never you're never oh wow, that dude's an All-American. But then my coach told me one night, and he's like, "Yeah, it comes out tomorrow, but dude, you you did it." And I was like, "I did what?" And he was like, "Yeah, you were you're an All-American." And I was like you're joking. There's no way that's true. And that's when I was like, okay, I need to do something more. Men's league is fun. And I'm kind of built into the Spam men's league team by blood, because all my older cousins grew up with the guys who created the team. So
cool.
I was like, oh, I think I can do more than just play with that, because I have all this free time, and the City trainings were at night too. And I was like, it's just such a better use of my time to go there. And all my buddies are there: Eli Goldman, Rory, every Finn, all the MU kids.
Yeah.
And then playing in the MIAC against all these kids, and then being like, well, okay, this kid's pretty good. Then they're talking about me. And then now I get to play with all of them. So my arch rivals from St. Thomas, Jack Barry, Makla, Ethan Anderson, now they're some of my closest friends. And they go to St. Thomas, and I live about, I don't know, 10-minute walk away from St. Thomas. So, like, these are guys that I'm hanging out with regularly now in the summer that before City, I was arch rivals with.
I want to kind of come back in a second to the bond that you're talking about there and kind of what that's like to develop. But really quickly, I want to touch on Gustavus one more time. What do you think it is about this Gustavus program that is finding? I mean, it feels like it's developing so many solid players at this NPSL level, and then hopefully one day beyond. Like you said, you've got obviously there's yourself, you've got Arthur Perrins, Charlie Adams is a Gustavus prospect, Cole Schwartz, right, from Gustavus. Who am I missing, and why is Gustavus so sneaky good?
Personally, yeah, I think I'm going to give all the credit to our coach, Tudor Flintham. I mean, he was a St. John's grad. He destroyed the MIAC for 3 years. He's from England, played in the Southampton Youth Academy, came over, and he's got all these connections out to the Pacific Northwest and the Western region, mountain region. Like, he knows his coaching network is unbelievable. He knows the amount of people that he knows, the amount of coaches that he knows. He helped coach the I don't think it was the U23 U.S. national team at one point. He was just like kind of coaching there for like a week or two when he was out in Portland. And he is honestly the best recruiter I've ever met. Like, better than any of the D1 coaches that I was talking to. It's his personality. And I think it really helps that, I mean, our coach before, Mike Middleton, was in a little bit of an unfortunate circumstance where he started to own property in 2 different countries. So he got bumped up to the highest tax bracket, and he was living in a tiny house in St. Peter. So unfortunately he had to leave, quit his job, and go back to England, which is where he's initially from. And he would go spend his summers in England, which kind of limited him recruiting wise.
Yeah.
And now Tudor comes in and he just knows everybody. So he's got all these connections. And even this year we brought, I think, 5 kids from one Salvo team in that I think everybody in the MIAC was trying to recruit. And I think those are a lot of guys that will be on the City.
And even outside the MIAC.
Oh, yeah, outside the MIAC. I mean, one of the center backs was Jared Hecht. You got Owen Johnson, Sam Just, all these young guys who I'm hoping that will get to play for City over the next couple of years. They got one more year with MYSA, but yeah, those are some of the names that will be hopefully coming to City in the future too. So
it's interesting that you bring up Tudor, because I over the course of his time, getting the job at Gustavus, and with what I do recruiting for City, just reaching out to him and introducing myself and just saying, here's what our program offers, and how much he aligns with what we do as a true logical step for players at any division level to come to. And I know he's tried to push many players towards us, and will continue to do so, because he understands the benefits of it. Because I think he sees what it's done for players like, that have come through our program in the past and then have gone back to him, and he sees the difference that they, yourself included, how little parts of your game increase without you probably even knowing it because of what you've done over the summer.
Yeah, I can certainly attest to that. I mean, the system is so similar, and it's shockingly similar, honestly. And I mean, I started playing wingback this year, and playing in that last City scrimmage, it's quite honestly almost the same thing as playing winger at City. Like, it's just a different label, and the systems are so similar that it's an easy transition, and it's run the same way, the same style, where the coaches, like, Tudor doesn't overcoach at all. A lot of the responsibility is put on the upperclassmen, saying to the younger kids, hey, this is how it's done. Like, you need to get your shit together so you can do the right thing and not have to have the coaches be harping on you all the time, which is, I see that a lot in Matt too. It's like, the guys who have been in city longer, like you got guys like Max and AO and Elder, who if you have a question, you go to them. You don't necessarily go straight to Matt because you got your players right next to who can answer the same question you have. So,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you are one of probably the first generation of Minneapolis City players to sort of come up through the ranks, right? In the past, Minneapolis City just kind of plucked young talent out of various programs and threw them into the NPSL. You're talking Steve, guys like Will Kidd, Goose, Samo. They've all been with the club now for a while, but back in the day, there was no opportunity for them to you've been looking forward to making Minneapolis City. You've got other guys that you have played with that you're happy to play with now, and you've got guys that you've played with that aren't on the team that you're like, man, I hope they join one day. What's kind of, as a player who's developed over the last 4 years to now be at Minneapolis City, what has that experience been like as you've gotten to know and understand what the club is about, really to see that there's another level to it beyond, your entry level U23 and work to get there. Like you already mentioned, you get that help, you get that guidance, and hope to bring other members from the soccer community, other players that you admire with you along for the ride.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a loaded question. There's a lot in there, but
So I mean, like first, I guess we'll start with like what's it been like to kind of climb the ranks of Minneapolis City, and how has your experience differed from year to year?
Yeah, so I mean, last year I think it was more of I would be at practice, and we usually split up into half and half, right? So the NPSL was on one side, and the other team was on the other side, and I felt like I was always kind of towards the upper side of the like the MC2, but I mean, it was still super competitive. Like there wasn't a very large gap between the top and the bottom. And I would always watch the other side of the practice and be like, God, I want to be over there so bad. And and I think honestly, this fall got me, the fall season that we played where we were doing 9v9s got me really I think that's where I was able to really show, because I got a lot of game time because we were doing that 7v7 tournament every Wednesday, and I got a bunch of game time in front of all the coaches, and they were like, oh, this kid is pretty good, maybe he could train with the top team. And when Matt finally had that conversation with me about, hey, we want to have you start training with the NPSL team this spring, I was like, oh, thank God. Like, I'm so excited to beat up on all these guys who are on the top team that I've been with the past year. Like, I remember going to the playoff games when they were playing at Benilde, and I was like, God, I know I can be out there. Like, I want to be out there so bad. And now I'm finally going to get that opportunity, it's honestly super rewarding to be able to look back at it and be like, and honestly, I can have those conversations with the younger kids and be like, hey, I was exactly where you were. Like, if you put the work in, you're going to be successful, especially in this environment that we have.
Yeah, that was kind of the follow-up. Like you mentioned earlier, there are all sorts of guys from this, that are kind of new Gusties or other players from around town that you've grown to know that are younger. Like, what's your message to them as they're looking for a way to improve over the summers or just kind of the next step beyond college throughout their college career?
I would say building relationships with guys who are on the team. Like, I think one of the best things for me is I'm a very social person. So like, I want to be able to have fun conversations with all my teammates and hang out with all my teammates. So like, I become friends with all my, like, the guys on my team. And then when I start training with the older team, I knew some of them previously from club days and younger days, but there's I would say a lot of it is communication and building those relationships and trust between other teammates, because a lot of the decision-making process isn't just among the coaches. They're looking at guys who have been at the club, like you were saying, like Steve and Elder. and Stiggy, and they're saying, hey, we're thinking about bringing this kid up. What are your thoughts? And if you have a good, positive relationship with that person, they're obviously going to vouch for you. If they see that you work hard and they see that there's clearly a drive and you're still improving, then they're going to put a good word into you for the coaches and be like, yeah, this kid wants to be where we are. Like, he wants to train with us. He wants to play with us. Like, I think we should give him that chance, and et cetera, et cetera.
It's something we've heard over the years, right? That Minneapolis City is kind of a team that values teammates, good teammates as much as they value good players.
100%.
So, I have to ask the organizational question, since I'm one of the top tier of the organization. So with the 2-ish plus years you've been with the club, how have you seen the club itself level up to make you as a player feel like this is the perfect destination where you want to play, when players at your caliber have so many other places across the country they could be spending their time playing with in the summer?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Asking the hard-hitting questions, Matt.
Let's see. I would say that the environment, and that I love the home games too. Like the environment that we have, the Twitter following that we have. When you go to the games, well, the first home game when I was at Augsburg was actually in MC2 last year. We played Des Moines Wanderers, I think, and we were up 5-0 at halftime. And just having all those fans there, and it being a team that at least five of the guys on the team I had played with before, and they played for Minneapolis United growing up. And these were kids that, like, I've known since I was 12. And no matter where our paths take us, Eli Goldman and Rory went to go play at MTA, didn't see him for a year or two, and now we're all back together, right? We're playing in the same spot, same system, same stuff. And it's like nothing changed. I think it's that aspect of, you're not just a number, or you're not just like a player to this organization, that you're valued for more than just your stats and what you can do on the field. There's a personality trait that comes with being on this team. Like, if you're a dick in practice, like, I mean, we haven't really had anybody like this, but if you're a dick in practice and, like, people don't like playing you, like, with you, you're not going to be asked to come back on the team. That's the thing that I love.
Yeah.
Is like, if you want to be there and people want you there, you're going to be there.
Something funny you mentioned, like, you were playing with all these guys that you used to play with as kids. Like, you're not the first cohort to do that, right? We talked to Luke Hawkinson, Max Stewart, Kevin Hoof, who grew up playing together as well. Like, how cool is it to be able to reunite and to see that your teammates are also kind of in the same boat, like playing with guys that they grew up with, and just adding to that love of the game and being on the team with familiar faces.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's one of the biggest pluses, is like, we're all working full-time jobs now, and like, I'm working 40 hours a week in the summer. So like, I'm not around during the day to just like, oh, hey, let's go to the beach and play pickup, or let's go to Lake Calhoun and go swimming. Like, our social hour is, hey, when we're at practice, like, that's our time to be together. And like, those out of town trips, we went to Hayward, Wisconsin, and destroyed every team we played. And I think that was
didn't the team rage quit?
Yeah, in the final.
Yeah,
in the final, we were up 3-0, and they were down to like 9 guys. And their coach was just like, yeah, we're done. We're off. Like, we're getting off the field. And that was just a whole mess. But like, that was one of the most fun. That was probably the most fun moment I've ever had playing at City, was like, just to frustrate a team so much within a half hour that they quit and like just walked off the field, and we took the trophy home and like celebrated. And like, I mean, those are the moments that you're like, that you think about when you're younger. You're like, oh, I want to be playing with these guys forever. And like, this is the forever that we're talking about. Like, and City has built that.
Let's put a bow. Let's put a bow on the sappiness with this last question. Like, we talk a lot about the brotherhood on the show and in the surround of the team. Like, there's this idea of the brotherhood coined by City legend Ben Wexler, but it has been documented that you are kind of you've kind of picked up the Ben Wexler mantle and are carrying the torch of driving this brotherhood forward. What does the brotherhood mean to you, and how does it make the teams at Minneapolis City successful?
I love to hear that. That's the thing I picked up. Quite honestly,
that's the rumor.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see. There's a picture of me with the trophy that's on Twitter from last summer of me holding that trophy that we got, and I'm shirtless out of the side of a van in the parking lot, just like happy as can be, right? And I think I'm social. That's how I operate. That's how I go. So if I'm having fun with everybody I play with, like in the middle of a drill, I'm laughing with some dude on the other team. Like, yeah, we should be serious all the time, but like, I feel like I always am trying to bring that extra spark of enjoyment and that extra, I would just say like that extra spark that makes it not feel like a training session and makes it feel like, oh yeah, this is like pickup. Like, you're just kind of fucking around with all your teammates. Like, it should be fun, everything we're doing. And if you're like pissed off, you can be pissed off, but guess what? Like, as soon as the whistle blows and like the drill's over, you should be messing around with your teammates, like when you're getting water and stuff. Like, I don't know. That's just like has always been my philosophy, is just like, how can I have the most amount of fun as possible and win? And City is quite honestly the perfect opportunity of that winning, which I hope to continue on now after watching them last year 10-0 in the conference. But
that's such a good philosophy too, because that's kind of that's why people love watching City too, not just playing for it, is how can it feel the most fun, and we have a winning team.
You combine winning
helps everything.
A lot easier. But yeah.
So rumor has it that this year's club mantra, "To the Moon," came from you. We need to dispel the rumor or validate the rumor. Is that true? And if so, how did that come to light?
It all started in the team group chat after a game, I'm pretty sure. Our yellow team went 0-2 the first 2 games of the round robin out of 6 games. And we kind of got smashed in both the games. And then we won 1 game. And I think we won like 5-4. Like, we won by 1 goal. And in the group chat,
I played in that game, Matt.
Me and Sam Ruiz-Pazo were like, hey, we should just like go off in the group chat and make it seem like the yellow team is like the greatest team to ever live. And I think I said it first, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say that it was me and Samo together, and we kind of we were like, yeah, yellow team to the moon in the group chat with like the spaceship emoji and like every yellow emoji that was there, like the rings and like all like the stars and like meteors and stuff. And I don't think everybody was very happy that we were 1-2, bottom of the second to bottom behind the blue team that was 0-3 at the time. And then of course we didn't lose a game from that point on. Like, that's that. I think that goes back to touch on the mentality part, is like, I think by far the yellow team had the most fun out of any team, if you look at it.
And now you're setting the culture for the rest of the team.
We got the phrase of the year. We got it going on shirts, hats, like, and it's all credit to the yellow team. But yeah, I would love to take solo credit for it, but I think it was more of a me and Sam. But I'll give whole credit to the yellow team there.
Nice.
Well, I'll throw my hat in the ring a little bit too, because like I said, I played in that game that you guys turned it around, and my 40-year-old body couldn't keep up with you guys. So apparently I had my hand in it as well.
Yeah. That was
Matt. Matt, we're only like at this point it's April, so we're only a month and a half away from the season. What are you looking most forward to in your first NPSL season? And who maybe are you looking forward to playing with the most?
I'm going to go ahead and answer both those in the same question. Well, kind of. So I actually live with one of the dudes who plays on the Sioux Falls Thunder. And two of my other teammates are also on the team. So I've got May 5th or May 8th marked on my calendar right now, which is our first game. And I'm like, our Gustavus season finishes on May 5th, and I cannot wait to go beat the shit out of Sioux Falls Thunder and make all my teammates cry on May 8th. Like, that's honestly is just like, I'm trying to go win that game and just like send a message. Like, let's win, I don't know, 7-0, 8-0. Like, let's run up the score and send a message to everybody else in the league that says, hey, you can't touch us right now. So, and then obviously just.
And then you have bragging rights over your roommates for the rest of the year.
With the same guys for the fall next season, and they're not going to be able to talk shit to me at all. So that's the hope, honestly.
Well, Matt, we've played a lot of games on the show. Right. We like to play games. We've done word association games. We've had Ask John Anything, which was a good one.
And I think it's unfortunate because I think if you would have played Ask John Anything, you may have been on the short list of people that could have stopped me, even though I went undefeated. I think maybe it could have been you. But we have a new game this year called
Crowfax.
Crowfax. So here's how the game works. I'm going to ask you 3 questions that are Crow related. They could be about the club. They could maybe be about a player, a specific match, or just the bird. If you have the actual answer, please give it. If not, just answer the question with whatever you think the answer should be. So our sample answer, which currently the 2 people who have played it are 1-1 on getting the sample question right. So a question could be like, who's the shortest Crow to ever play for City? And the answer would be Ben Wexler.
Yeah.
So does the game make sense?
All right.
Yep. Or you have to pretend you know the answer, and then I will shame you after with the correct answer.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Ready to go? Okay. So how many current and former Gustavus players have played with City since 2016? And can you name them
2016. All? And that's counting this year?
From the beginning. That is counting this year. And that's counting the entire club.
Are these guys, can I just say, does Ralph count? Okay.
No, he's not on the list.
I'm going to go 6.
I figured this would be an easy one for you.
And I'm going to go
Charlie
Adams.
Who are those 6?
Matt Murakami, Arthur Perrins, me, Cole Schwartz, and Scotty Heinen.
Yes. So the answer is actually 7. And the one you're missing is Gustavus legend Zach Brown. And Zach was a member of our first Open Cup team in 2016. He didn't play on the PLA team, the first ever team, but he was brought in.
I knew there was going to be one of those.
Open Cup team. So
and I knew I wasn't going to get
it. Okay, so question 2. In the movie The Crow, actor Brendan Lee is the son of what famous 1970s action star?
All right, before I say this, I'm just going to I did not watch movies growing up, like, apart.
You were probably like 4 years old when this came out.
So
Lee. The actor's name is Brendan Lee. So we're looking for his
Brendan Lee's dad
in the movie. Dad.
In
real life.
This is gonna be wrong, but Bruce Lee.
Oh, yes,
that is correct. Crowfax to the moon, right here, folks. Okay, so question number 3, last question. When a crow dies, what typically happens to the murder? We're talking about the bird now, not if
To the murder, like the group of
in the
crows?
Brotherhood passes away.
I feel like they kind of watch the
Yes.
body as it decays, don't they? And they try to not let other birds like eat it.
So you're very, very close. So the site, this is coming off of National Geographic's website. So I'm taking it as this is actually what happens. So at the site of a dead crow, it tends to attract a mob of 100 or more live crows. So I think you're right there. They kind of all figure out what the fuck's going on. During this ritual, the live crows never touch the dead bird, which rules out scavenging as a motive. But why they do this is some studies have suggested that a mass gathering is part of a survival strategy, and that the birds are actually learning about threats and they're hesitant to revisit the same spot again once the crow has died, and they're where the crow died, and they'll never go back even if food is plentiful in that area.
Weird. Yeah, that was good.
Yes. So essentially, they have a little tiny crow funeral, and then they never go back.
I had no idea.
So that's which I think is probably pretty similar to what would happen in real life if that happened to any one of us. Is that we'd have like a mass
that would
gathering
be the goal,
and then
to
never go back
to
that
the
place
funeral
again.
home, right?
Yeah, exactly. So Matt, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully you enjoyed your first time on the show. We'll obviously have you on again in the future here. Super excited about having you in with the NPSL this year. Obviously, To the Moon is very real, and I'm happy to hear that you have circled May 8th on your calendar, because I too have circled May 8th on my calendar. Really looking forward to this season,
Awesome.
Especially starting
Thanks
off
for
with a
having
bang
me.
in that game.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Matt.
Yep.
Talk to you later.
No problem, man. We'll take it easy. We'll talk to you later. That is all for this week's show, folks. And thank you to our new show sponsor, footballstadiumprints.com. Is your t-shirt game a little sad, looking a little pitted out? Are the walls of your domicile or your soccer cave looking sparse? Footballstadiumprints.com has the solution you need to add a unique spin to your soccer wardrobe, your day-to-day wardrobe, or your living arrangement. Footballstadiumprints.com may be an English bloke making some great art, but know that all orders ship directly from the U.S. So you don't have to mess around with any of that international shipping charges. And what's better, City fans can head over to footballstadiumprints.com, check out the new Edor Nelson t-shirt and print designs, and use code CROWS10 to save 10% off of your orders. That's CROWS10, and you could rock the home of the Crows or any other lesser team, I suppose, in any of the lands, whether it be the U.S. or some things they have overseas. Head on over to our friends at footballstadiumprints.com. If giving back to the community means a lot to you, maybe it's time to give the club that loves to give back. Minneapolis City is a 501c3 that provides a safe, reliable, and fun environment for young people to play the beautiful game, like at our upcoming summer camps, as well as through our Futures Program Scholarship Fund. Lots of ways to give. Consider a tax-deductible donation to a truly city-focused organization. I always get that wrong. I always say focused. The season is around the corner, and I'm sure questions are abound. So whether you want to ask us about the team, any investigations we can go on to provide answers for you, send us mail. It is easy to do. Hit us up on Twitter at The People's Pitch, or through email at mcscpodcast@gmail.com. All questions, comments, and concerns are welcome. And finally, as always, you can complain to the club. Dan loves it at NPLS City SC. Thank you for joining us this week. That does it for tonight. I am John. That was Matt Gibbons. And of course, that was Nate. From here, the only way is to the moon. So head to MinneapolisCitySC.com, become a member, and get those tickets so you don't miss the trip.
You got it.
You got it.